Hey guys, this is Josh Valencia from Good Break Studios. Today we're going to be looking at a little bit of a mixing tutorial. We're just going to be mixing four things. But before we get started, be sure to check us out at Good Break Studio on Twitter, no S. Follow us on Facebook, or find us on Facebook, I guess, at Good Break Studios with an S. And check us out at www.goodbreakstudios.com. Today, like I said, we're going to look at some mixing techniques, just some general stuff. We're going to be mixing an electric piano, drum, a drum track, and some bass. So let's go ahead and give it a listen. All I have now are the instruments playing, so let's go ahead and give it a listen. So as you can hear there, besides an out-of-tune bass, which needs some loving with Melodyne, we have a few things that I could hear right off the bat. We could hear that the electric piano is kind of fighting with the bass, and the kick and the bass aren't really necessarily gelling. So today we're really going to focus on the low end, how to get that to work just right. So let's listen to the electric piano by itself. We're going to see what components might be contributing to that kind of fighting. Let's go to solo. Okay, so right off the bat, I could really tell that the two notes that it hits on the left hand are really kind of fighting what I'm playing on the bass here. I could tell just by looking at the keyboard, it looks like an F. So, whoa, that kind of shrug it. But anyway, it does look like an F, and that is one of the notes I'm playing on the bass. So, since my bass isn't perfectly in tune and the MIDI instrument is, so they are kind of conflicting, and the fact that they're kind of in the same frequency spectrum doesn't help that much either. So what I'm going to do is that I know that these two are conflicting. I'm going to play let's solo the electric piano on the bass. So there is a little bit of muddying going on. For this particular song, I actually don't need the electric piano to be that thing that fills the lower end of the spectrum. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go boom. Stock Pro Tools plugin, super easy. What I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna put a high pass filter. I'm gonna go ahead and scrape some of that off. So let's go ahead and give it a listen as I do it. So as you can tell, as I toggled them on and off, you could really see that the EQ is making that space in the lower end of the spectrum. Looks like I have it set to about 140 hertz. So somewhere where the bass lives, obviously the bass lives there and farther down. But we're definitely able to hear that that we have all this extra room for the bass to live and thrive. So let's go ahead and listen to it without again. So definitely, you could really hear how the bass fits better. You could hear more parts of it. You could even hear some of the high end a little clearer. You could hear the bass strings pop a little more. So I kind of like how that's sitting right now. Let's go ahead and listen to another important component of any mix. We're going to listen to the drums and the bass together. So this is a contact bass. So I'm able to get just jump right in the contact. Okay. I'm gonna go into my bloop 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 bloop. If I could get this to look like it normally. Okay. That's a little better. Okay, let's go to my mixer. And look at that kick. So we have, for those who haven't used Contact before, at least Studio Drummer has everything kind of broken out for you. So you have basically your settings for the instrument. You have in, out, sub, good stuff. You have your transient, so kind of your transient designer, then a compressor, tape sim, which I don't necessarily need, and then an EQ. I'm going to go ahead and add more sub. Let's go ahead and listen to that. So that sounds pretty good. I hear that we might need some love in the high mids. I might need to back those back just a hair. I see that they're just in the middle here. Nothing really in there, but I kind of like where it's set at. You know, the high mid frequency. I hate that it doesn't give me an exact readout, but it looks. Wow, that really blows. There's actually no readout, so I'm just gonna, take that for granted. That's kind of lame. I'm gonna back down of the high mid frequency in this arbitrary band that gave me as high mids, since I can't really tell. It's under 7. That's great. Okay. Now I'm gonna give it a little bit of heft. So as you saw, I just narrowed the Q a little bit to the low end because I really want to focus in on this low end side. So as you saw, I did cycle it through 600 because I wasn't really hearing much of anything going on. But once I did, you could really hear that the knock went away. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave it around here. Let's give it a listen. So you can see that when I'm just simply putting everything in its place. So what I did to get the electric piano and the bass working tighter, I just cleared out some space so the bass could live there. Well, now that I had the electric piano and the bass guitar going, the kick wasn't necessarily popping through. So what I did here in this EQ is that I actually set aside a spot for the bass to live a little under, a little under the bass guitar, but it was never messing with the electric piano. So if you give the kick its own space a little lower, sometimes you want to put it higher in terms of frequency spectrum with the bass guitar, you could really have it pop nicely. So let's go ahead and give that a listen. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and go to kick A. So this is where we're at. You could really tell that it just kind of sounded weird. Let's go between what I had before. That's what I set up. It's really puffy, really nice, really big. And then we're going to go back to the initial preset of kick A. So after adjusting the volume a little bit, you could really hear that the kick got puffy, nice, and big, and separated itself from the bass. EQ is something that you really can't preset for because it's such a specific, it's a situation specific kind of tool. So you're not always using it the same way every single time. So go ahead and keep that in mind. And if you guys have any suggestions for things you need me to do, this kind of came up out of the blue. I hope to have an actual analog piece. I'm actually coming out of a distressor with my vocal today, so I plan on looking at that a little bit closer and seeing if we could just get a good idea of what this thing's doing. But I'll save that for next week. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys like this video. See ya. Bye bye.